Hey, welcome. Today, we're diving into a pretty radical new way of thinking about technology. We're talking about something that isn't designed to make us faster or smarter, but to help us understand who we really are on a much, much deeper level. So, yeah, let's get right into it.
For years, the whole conversation around human-computer interfaces, especially brain-machine interfaces, has been driven by one big question. How powerful can I become? It's all about enhancement, right? But the idea we're exploring today just flips that completely on its head. It asks a totally different question. Who am I when all the noise finally stops? And that is the fundamental split we're going to unpack.
All right, so let's kick things off with this tale of two interfaces. We're going to look at why that relentless chase for success and efficiency, well, why it can so often leave us feeling kind of empty. This really sets the stage for a different kind of tech. And this right here is the core idea of the heart-machine interface, or HMI. The point isn't to give you superpowers. It's about giving you a mirror, a tool that lets you genuinely see yourself. So let's talk about what it actually means to listen to the heart. And it's super important we move this idea beyond mysticism and ground it firmly in, actual biology. Yeah, let's be really precise here. When we say hurt, we're not talking about poetry or some vague feeling. We're talking about physiology. The HMI is an interface that listens to this incredibly complex system of information that our body is generating, like all the time. And what's it listening for exactly? Well, you can think of it in three distinct layers. First, you've got the purely physiological signals, things like your heart's rhythm and its variability. Then, riding on top of those are the emotional states, fear, desire, that impulse to just avoid something. And then, at the deepest level, you have the unconscious patterns that drive our habits, our addictions, and those belief loops we get stuck in. And the key thing is, the system doesn't try to control any of this. It just listens. Okay, that brings us to the AI mirror. Let's look at how AI actually makes this whole reflection thing possible, how it takes our own biological data and turns it into something we can finally see, but without all the usual judgment. So what you're seeing here is that unconscious loop in action. It's a sequence your body runs constantly, probably without you ever noticing. It all starts with some kind of inner destabilization, right? A feeling of unease that makes your heart rhythm unstable. That then triggers a physical cue. Maybe your breathing gets shorter. And then, before you're even consciously aware of what you're feeling, your behavior has already shifted to an escape. You're scrolling your phone or you're grabbing a snack. The HMI's only job is to track this chain of events and show it to you. And wow, this slide just nails the crucial difference. The old way, and let's be honest, our own inner critic, looks at that escape behavior and just says, bad habit, stop it. It's pure judgment. The heart-machine interface, though, offers a completely different message. It basically says, hey, this behavior is just trying to protect you. There's an inner instability it's trying to regulate. See the difference? It's huge. So the AI's role in all of this is actually pretty simple, and it's totally non-judgmental. It just takes in all this messy, complex data from your body. Then it finds the patterns and connects your inner state with your outward behavior. And finally, it just acts like a mirror, reflecting that connection back to you. It's a neutral observer, not a judge. So you might be wondering, how can just seeing these patterns be enough to weaken something as powerful as an addiction? Well, let's get into how awareness itself becomes the most powerful tool for change. And here's the thing you've got to understand. Compulsive and addictive patterns, they absolutely rely on us not seeing them clearly. They operate just beneath the surface of our awareness, and honestly, their power comes from being invisible. And this is the mental flip that changes the whole game. The HMI gives you the clarity to see what's really driving you. You might think, oh, I'm craving the stimulation of my phone, but the mirror shows you, actually, you're avoiding a feeling of emptiness. The moment you see that, really see it, the spell of that compulsion starts to break. No force needed, just clarity. So this brings us to how you fuel something like this. A philosophy this different needs an equally different economic model, right? One that doesn't rely on the usual anxiety-driven mechanics we see all over the tech world. Which, of course, leads to the big question, how do you fund a project like this? What's the deal with the project's token, SophieCoin? Okay, so SophieCoin is not designed to be some speculative asset. It's definitely not a hype token that's promising you future riches. Its whole purpose is to be a value carrier for clarity. Think of it as the economic fuel that supports user access to the tech, lets the community govern the project, and funds the long-term patient experiments needed to build these tools for self-awareness. And this funding model is built on a really simple rule. You don't raise money by manufacturing anxiety. Participation starts small with people who are truly aligned with the mission. Growth is measured in the stability of the system, not in wild speculation. And to keep everything transparent, it's all overseen by a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, which really just means it's a community-led thing with no central boss. All right, let's bring this all together in our final section, the final human algorithm. Because all of this, the tech, the philosophy, the economics, it's all pointing toward an answer to what might be the single most important question of the AI age. And that question is this. When we are surrounded by infinitely powerful artificial intelligence, AI that can optimize us, persuade us, entertain us in ways we can't even imagine, what's our anchor? What is going to keep us from completely losing ourselves in all that noise? The answer isn't more intelligence. It's not about trying to compete with the machines. The answer is just one simple word: clarity. The ability to see our own inner state, to know what's truly driving us. That becomes the ultimate human algorithm for staying grounded. So, in the end, the HMI isn't just another piece of tech that promises to live your life for you or make everything easier. Its purpose is way more profound. It's a tool designed to let you, maybe for the very first time, truly see how you are living. And in that exact same spirit, SophieCoin isn't selling some promise about a speculative future. Its entire reason for being is to fuel something far more valuable: the return to yourself. I mean, what does it even mean to have a technology that isn't about escaping, but about coming home? And that's the question this whole project leaves us with.